Hey, party people, it's Cliff. Good morning. So, earlier this week, I got the unfortunate news that I've been laid off. Been laid off from Sony Pictures. And that's okay. Because in my career in Hollywood, I got, like, the first time I ever got fired, right, was a long time ago. And it was the best thing that ever happened. Because you gather your pieces together. It's a big shock. You think, oh, woe is me, and what's going to happen? And then I was in North Carolina. Oh, this guy. Hello. I was in North Carolina, and then I moved to LA, and then the rest is history. Kept working, kept getting more experience, kept doing some good stuff, and then a couple of other times I gotten fired. I actually got hired by another company, and the first week I should have saw it coming. But the first week, it was the previous person there was leaving, but I didn't know that he was training me to replace his job, and he was being fired. I thought he was leaving. I thought he was leaving, or we were like going to be working together. And then, the other time I got fired was, let's see, what was the other one? Oh yeah, I got fired from that same job that I was told to replace on Thanksgiving, on my Thanksgiving break. Yeah, so that's fun. Get a call and it's like, oh yeah, by the way, we don't need you anymore. And I'm like, and the first thing I thought was like, oh, do I need anything from the office? And I'm like, no, fuck no. And I think I had some stuff from them, and I'm like, I'm not giving it back to them. And then I got fired on Thanksgiving. I applied to different jobs, Saturday and Sunday. Monday I had another interview, and then Tuesday I was working again. And I think these times are different, but and then the other time I got fired, not fired, but it's like I was scheduled to work for 4 weeks, and then they gave me an extra 2, and then after that second week they brought me in on a Wednesday, and they're like, hey, we gotta let you go, sorry. So in Hollywood, you get used to being fired all the time. And from this, but the thing is, like, with this job, you really make friends, you really, you do good. And Sony's been more than amazing. And, I'm not just saying that to just say that, but I'm just saying it because it's very, you feel very lucky, and I'm just very fortunate to be like, a part of some good stuff, for the time being. It sucks, but it's one of those things where I live my life in Hollywood as if I'm going to be fired tomorrow. And in accepting sort of that, fate, or like the nature of the industry, because if you think about it, like every movie project, once it finishes, well, that cast and crew will have to figure out what the next movie is going to be, for them to work on. They might not get the next movie. Actors are the same way. In fact, all of Hollywood and like this industry is all about freelancing, and it's all about like getting onto a project, getting let go, and then getting back onto another project. So it's very familiar. And when it happened on how it happened on Tuesday was, I get a message. You can come over, buddy. It's all good. But I get a message, in my inbox, or a calendar invite, and it's like, oh no, it's 15 minutes, like a 15-minute meeting, calendar invite. I know exactly what's coming. But it was also to be expected too. Like earlier in the year, we were really slow. Then the two fellas who were under our network executives, they were also like leaving the company in June, and it was just like everybody could feel it. And then if you do Google, you can see the Sony announcement, and they're laying off hundreds of people. And it's weird because you don't know if it's really like a pivot to a different business, or if it's or if it's just, hey, we need to consolidate and like shift, or else we're gonna, the whole company is gonna go. Um, but who knows? Anyways, I got a really nice severance package. I am not worried at all because, for the past like 20 years working in Hollywood, I've basically been like, well, if my last day is tomorrow, I'm gonna need a safety net. I'm gonna need to save some money. I'm gonna need to do all of those things, and I have done all those things. So yeah, it's, in a weird way, it's like, because here's the process that you go through, right? First is shock, and then the second is worry. And worry is basically like, you're not worried about the situation, you're just worried about not knowing what's happening next. Because when you get into a rhythm and you get into a routine, you get into safety, and all of a sudden it feels like it's not safe. But one of the things is, like I talk with everybody, is that the reputation of working at a company such as Sony, and also IPC, which is where I work at, the industry is a big industry, but it's also a small industry. So those credits and the TV shows that we made like goes a long way for, starting up what's next. And I think everyone that experiences, being fired and like going out and hustling, well, not hustling, hustling's not the word, I don't like that word, but going out, finding another gig, one that you're specialized in, it's just, I guess it's just part of the game out here in the crazy Hollywood world. But yeah, that's it. And really, it's like looking towards the future. It's like I have an out date, we're still driving to work. It's going to be until June. And I think that's totally fine and totally fair. And you're probably wondering like, well, if they fired you, it's like, why are you working until June? It's like, well, because you got to get that severance package, and I have no ill will towards anybody that I work with, or the big old company in general, because there's no need to, right? Like, let's pretend for an instance that I got all mad and like rah 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 rah, I'm upset, and I curse the system and all of this stuff, and it's like then what? Then what happens next, right? Okay, you're in the same situation, so you just went through all of this emotional like baggage and this emotional, not collapse, but just being upset, being frustrated, being like, oh, it could be something different, and like whatever. And it's like, you can't worry about that. It's just like, you thank whoever gave you the opportunity, and then you move on. And it's simple as that. And yeah, it's funny, my friend and I, we went out to lunch after we both got the news, and we went to this really cool whatchamacallit, Mediterranean place, and we got a whole bunch of dishes, and we are just like, let's just splurge. He still has the company credit card, right? But we got some cheese, and this cheese stuff had pistachios on it, and I'm like, oh great, I'm allergic to pistachios. And then as like my like immune system like kicked up into high gear, I got back from lunch, and then my eyes and my nose started watering, and my face like turned red, and I was like, at that day I was like, guys, I gotta go home, and everybody understood. I tell everybody that I'm allergic to pistachios, but I just missed it that time. But what's hilarious is that because I had just gotten the news that I got laid off, it looked like that my face was red, and like my tears and everything, and like I was just crying in my bay, like oh, it's all over, like oh man, it's hilarious. I thought that was hilarious, and like people seeing me like, oh my god, he just got laid off, like in the movies, the person crying. But that's the other thing too. It's like, I don't have my identity wrapped up in work. I enjoy work. I enjoy the people that I work with, It is what I want to do, and I am very lucky and very fortunate to be a part of, a part of something cool. I mean, look, how cool is this? I mean, I got to watch K-pop Demon Hunters on the Sony Studio lot in one of the theaters. I mean, you can't beat that. You can't beat that. So, very very happy. But like, it's weird. It's weird because there's a bit of like happiness that comes with it, because not only it's like, do you, and this is the thing, right? This is sort of the lesson. It's like, if you prepare for the worst, hope for the best, like, everything will be fine. And for the last 20 years, I have always prepared for the worst. And now that the worst is not really the worst, but now that the worst has happened, like, I have no stress. Like, everything's fine. Like, no big deal. Take all the credits and all the shows and all the things that we did, and then take that and like hand my resume off to to the next person, and do it this way. It's funny, I got this watch like a day or two after I got fired from my first job, and it's sort of one of those things where, like, there's a moment in time where literally, right, where a piece of like a piece of history, and I say this watch is a piece of history for me. You realize it's like, I guess what, time moves on, like everything moves on, like we'll be all good, and just decided not to, like just decided at that point, like, hey, I got to move to LA because that's where all the action is in Hollywood, and not doing too bad. Of course, I am on the technical side of things. I think it's a little bit more difficult for, producers, or I think it's a little bit more difficult for folks who are in front of the camera and who are on set. But actually, no, I don't think so either. Too, like, there's two arguments either way, like, because the folks on set, they're like, oh, you have 4 weeks, like a 4-week shoot, or you're working for 5 months, you're working for in 2 months, something like that. So their turnover rate is a lot faster. So the more times you get fired, or the more times you get let go, the more you're just like, okay, you gotta, call up all the contacts, see who's out there, see what's what, and then go to the next gig. And that's also one of the reasons, like, hey, I'm writing a book too, How to Survive in Hollywood. And what are you doing, Mustang? Okay, there we go. He's going that way. But one of the things is that just being very nice and polite and courteous to people, even if they're being an asshole to you. Most people aren't assholes, like all of the drama that you read on the news, that's only like the 1%, I feel like, because when you're talking about, like, hundreds of thousands of dollars, like of time, of people's time, during the day, nobody has time to like mess around and like fuck around. It's only like high profile, like, people that like are doing this like dance because of egos and whatever. But man, like, working Hollywood, which is what I'm a part of, it's like, it's the nature of the industry. So I'm used to it, and relaxed, like, in a weird way. Because every time I've gotten fired, every time I've gotten like let go, I've always been like, whatever the next job is, it's like way cooler than the previous job. I don't know about this time. Like, we had a good 10-year run, and we ran pretty much the industry, or at least the reality TV nonfiction stuff. Gosh, what shows have we done? So much for Netflix. Indian Matchmaking, Leah Remini and Scientology, in the Aftermath. Those are the big ones. Ran American Idol and Shark Tank, and So You Think You Can Dance. Some HBO stuff, Selena plus Chef. That was cool. It's cool looking at footage of that, but hey, at the end of the day, you know, like at the end of the day, people will want to watch TV. People will want to watch entertainment, and I want to say weird, but I just think like there's a big what is it? There's like a big compression, and it's a big like not necessarily shock, but there's like a dip, and like things are kind of happening so fast. There's these prediction markets, and AI is coming in, which I still think AI is not going to do a damn thing. It helps out, but I don't think it's going to be the bread and butter, I don't think it's going to save these companies anything. Let's just put it that way. What is everyone doing? Why is everyone doing the things? Okay, I need to get past this guy. He's okay. All right, that's fine. But yeah, look, like I think you prepare. Like, look, that's the saying. Like, prepare for the worst, hope for the best. You know, save a little bit, invest a little bit. Like your creature comforts, like remove them. As you go, and then you'll be fine. Like that's the thing. It's like if the worst comes to worst, you'll be fine, and I'm fine. Like, it's not like all these other videos, and I feel for all those other guys, all those other folks who are saying like, oh my, just got laid off and now I don't know what to do because I don't have a month, I don't have 2 weeks worth of savings. And it's like, well, you gotta plan for this even though you're stable. Like, look, I thought I was like yes and no. I had always told myself, like, look, if I get fired, if I'm the guy that's going, like, everyone else is going to. And, well, here we are. But yeah, it's one of those things where, like, that's all I can say. All I can say is just, like, I'm happy. I'm also sad. I'm going through all the emotions. I think the shock has worn off. I think I was, like, awake in in a couple of days or whatever. Why is this guy like taking up all the road? So it's just funny how it all played out, but I got no complaints. I am truly and very grateful, and look forward to what happens next. So I hope you guys are good out there, because I am. See you later. Bye.